What is going on, guys? I believe it's day 123. So let's go over what was going through my head, what happened, what I ended up doing, how I was feeling, all that jazz. So we were clearly bullish coming into market open. As you can see, broke structure on the 4 hour, and then this candle was yet to close until 10 o'clock, right? So bullish on the 4 hour, bullish on the 1 hour, and I was wanting to see how price was going to respect this 1 hour gap, if it was going to displace through it or displace out of it, right? So clearly, same thing goes for NQ. Bullish, bullish, and then up until, market open here, we were closing bearish at 10 o'clock. And we had actually tapped into the 1 hour up here. We had an SMT from this high down to this high, and then ES was way above those highs, as you can see down here. Anyways, so there was SMT. I was looking at ES to take longs, if I was to take longs, but there wasn't a clear draw on liquidity for longs, right? These highs, sure, but what was really catching my attention was the new week opening gap, of course, and these lows down here. So what I saw, right, if I was going to take shorts, it was going to be on NASDAQ because it was leading and it had the SMT at the high, right? And that was pretty much the only draw on NASDAQ until we were in this this range of just fair value gaps, pretty much. And then the same thing with ES. We were already in this range, and these were the highs. And these look pretty high resistant compared to the draws of liquidity down here, right? So we saw this tap into the 1 hour fair value gap, right? And that was right before 30 minutes before market open. So we saw that, and then we saw a break structure to the downside. I was looking for a equilibrium retracement to then take shorts off of. So pretty much all I really needed was the equilibrium retracement, because we had already seen during pre-market, price tapped in, broke structure to the downside. And this was all during pre-market. So we saw a very clean candle where it tapped into this equilibrium. And on yes, very nice 5-minute gap that it retraced into, creating another SMT, 1-minute SMT. So we're looking very good for shorts, and I was willing to take shorts based on draw liquidity, right? Because price was rejecting, showing on the higher time frame that price was moving lower out of this gap, and then draws and liquidity were down below. Like I said, again, there was no clear draws to the upside, so wasn't wanting to take those longs. Now, what I saw here was beautiful, right? We got the tap into equilibrium right here, and then we came right out of it, breaking structure, as you can see, at 9:38, and then came down all the way down to all my draws. I say would have because I didn't take this trade. I would have went break even, came into the new week opening gap, and it would have just been a clean trade. And we saw the same on ES as well, right? So we were respecting 5-minute, coming out of the 5-minute, and then on the 1-minute, we can see that it broke structure at the same time at 9:38. So now I was a bit angry that I missed this trade because this was just an absolute banger. But I didn't take this trade for one reason alone, right? The trade idea, trade setup was great. It was phenomenal. And that's why I was pissed off that I didn't take it. But I didn't take it for one reason alone, and that is because it was too early. It's at 9:38. I have set rules for myself to not enter until 9:40 due to reasons of Judas sweeps and, manipulation legs that I used to get caught up in. Now, I feel that I've missed a lot of trades due to this. And it's been a correlation that I've not been losing trades, but missing a lot of trades, leaving a lot of money on the table. I don't see this as greed or FOMO. I see this as an adjustment to my rules, my strategy. Now, what you see most often, especially at market open for a juice sweep, it's usually like a 5-minute leg that moves up, sweeps liquidity, and then moves lower. So in that case, I need to enter a little bit more early. Like I was saying, clean trade, and everything was setting up beautifully on the lower time frame, higher time frame. Maybe we didn't have higher time frame structure, but longs weren't there. If that's the right wording, they weren't there because there were no draws on liquidity. And something I've noticed very recently is you need to understand the higher time frame structure, but you also need to understand your draws on liquidity and where price needs to go to rebalance or needs to go to gain orders, right? So seeing especially this is just free. This is honestly just free because look at this gap. This is on the hourly. This is an insane new week opening gap, and it is due for a rebalance. So just seeing that alone is like a free ass draw on liquidity. And seeing that there aren't any draws, any LR to the upside on the higher time frame just confirms it even more, right? So once I saw this get taken out, I was looking for longs, potential longs, but nothing was presenting that I knew nothing was going to present until later on in the day, just like it is now rebalancing. But yeah, these were the only draws to the upside on ES, and that was what I would want to target to take longs because ES was leading, right? So yeah, I was a little mad that I missed this, but made me realize that I've been missing out. Yes. And honestly, waiting, it just makes more sense to wait instead of 10 minutes in the market open, but 5 minutes, because I noticed a lot of times that, again, the first 5-minute candle is the manipulation leg, and then after that you get retracements and price moves in the direction that it actually wants to go in. So we're just going to make slight adjustments as we go on, and hopefully this will lead us to have a higher frequency of trades. Because like I said, I've noticed this past month, like even though it's been, pretty ass this month, I've noticed a lot of trades. The first 10 minutes in the market open have been just flawless for me. And, through journaling and through making these videos and all that, most of the times it's been too early to enter. And I have realized that that is the recurring problem. So the only way to test that out, that theory, is to adjust the time that I allow myself to enter. So now I've adjusted my strategy to allow myself to enter at 9:35 instead of 9:40. But like I said, this was honestly just beautiful. Like I said, and if we started displacing through this 1 hour, like that would have been free longs, So, but we saw clear reaction out of this fair value gap, and price wanted to move lower off of it. But this aligned very well with my strategy and the way I've been thinking and the way I've been perceiving the markets and all. So um, hopefully y'all took this trade because this was an absolute banger. And honestly, like I was looking at this and I was like, okay, it's gonna tap a new week opening gap and then reverse. But then I just saw it kept dumping. So it dumped like what 400 points, some shit. Yeah, 400 points. And then probably another 6. Yeah. So 600 point dump, which is insane. Insane. But we got the rest of the week. I'm not stressed about it. I was just a little angry in the moment that I missed a beautiful trade. And it made me realize that maybe I'm being too strict on my rules because I have a lot of rules, to protect me. And, I'm not the same trader as I was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, a year ago. I've learned to come to an understanding of the markets and have a better grasp on it, right? So I feel that I can trust myself and trust my intuition in my ability to read the markets way more than a year ago, 6 months ago, right? And I hope y'all are doing the same, getting better, evolving, and becoming a better trader. Because if you're at the standstill, experiencing the same problems, wake up, realize that maybe that's what's holding you back. Those same problems you keep telling yourself or telling other people or your trading buddies, whatever, that you were experiencing the same thing. And I remember I'd keep telling my friends, yeah, it's just too early to enter. So I didn't enter, right? And I've noticed that this whole month of trading, and all those trades would have been bangers and I would have banked on if it wasn't for that reason. So, like I said, just testing it out, tweaking my strategy, and hopefully it'll start rolling in. And that's what it's about. It's about trial and error, figuring out what works for you, what you need in place to protect yourself. And I definitely think like before I was doing the 10 minutes and I think that was like overly because I would be trading, I remember I was taking trades literally like 1 to 2 minutes in the market open and I was like, that was stupid. So 5 minutes, once that 5 minute candle forms, like that is probably the best time. After that, and then you can start looking for trades after that. But like I said, days like this, that would work. And I've seen multiple days across this whole month that it would work as well. Came to the same conclusion for a good couple weeks or couple days of trading, and it's same thing. It was too early to enter. So we're gonna try this out. We're gonna see how it affects my P&L because as of now, like it's something's got to fucking change because this shit ain't working, right? So we'll see. With that being said, guys, um, we got the rest of this week, right? And then next week, and then Wednesday through Friday, I will be out of town. So I'll try to upload. I'll try to get some trades in, or even just a video of me going over the recap of today, of that day. But I can't guarantee anything because I don't want to be in the wrong headspace or mindset or environment to just blow shit up, right? So that being said, I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.